56 days after assumption in office as the 15th Indigenous Inspector General of Police and the promotion of the 7 Deputy Inspectors General of Police, the Inspector General of Police and his management team settled down to address critical security issues plaguing the nation. In his maiden conference with commissioners of police and above, Hafiz Ringim had in his template the following, which includes introducing proactive and visionary style of leadership, addressing structural flaws in the force, creating roadmap for sustainable development, attitudinal change of police personnel, institutional capacity building, optimal professionalism and efficiency, creating performance benchmark in the force, consolidating on training and retraining of police personnel, and ensuring the conduct of a free and fair election. The success of every organization lies in the vision of its leadership. Thus, the Inspector General of Police, Hafiz Ringim's administration, has taken it into cognizance by making it a priority if the force must move to the next level.
It is with joy that I welcome you all to this maiden conference, which becomes inevitable due to the need for us to brainstorm and assess our performance so as to make necessary improvements. As you can see, the drive behind this is to brainstorm as well as to draw our attention to the need to make necessary improvements. At this point, it became obvious that we must remain focused, proactive, collaborative, decisive, and accountable in our vision and style of leadership if we must make a headway. Also, there was need to ensure that the Nigeria Police Force provides a veritable environment and trustworthy leadership that would sustain the smooth implementation of the government-wide paper reform that I've just talked about.
On assumption in office, the Inspector General of Police was faced with certain security issues like the renewed Boko Haram crisis in some northern parts of the country and the kidnapping frenzy that gained prominence in the southeast.
On assumption of office, it became apparent that certain issues were beckoning for urgent attention. Those issues include restiveness in the Niger Delta, the Boko Haram renewed rampage, killings on the plateau, the kidnapping frenzy in the southeast, as well as the structural flaws inherent in our organization. I'm glad to say that some of these basic issues as contained in this address have or are being squarely addressed. For example, the issue of Boko Haram resurgence with the attendant mass selective killing in Borno, in Yobe and Bauchi states are being adequately checked. I was appointed the 15th Indigenous Inspector General of Police at a time our organization was going through institutional as well as structural reformation in line with globally accepted standards. We are all aware of the structural changes we are talking about. The changes include the basic reform in infrastructure, in manpower deployment, and resources deployment, as well as the upgrade in the total concept and perception of what is called the Nigeria Police Force.
In view of these crimes and other security issues, the Inspector General of Police is poised to overhaul and restructure the police mobile force and other units of the force for optimal performance.
We have started overhauling and downsizing the police mobile force, the PMF. This is for optimal professionalism and efficiency. As we all know, it is the traditional role of the police mobile force to serve as the operational punching arm of the Nigeria Police Force, thereby providing succor in the protection of lives and property. The PMF should be the last resort by the police in dealing with very tasking and riotous situations. Albeit, as it is now, it is always the first resort. This situation must be reversed. That way, the PMF is seen as being more effective, resilient, respectable, and professional. This is no more the case, as the police mobile force has been subjected to performing unprofessional and degrading duties. This, the present administration, the current management leadership of the Nigeria Police Force intends to check and has already started doing so. The other units we would structure in the future, the nearest, shortest possible future, are the Federal Highway Patrol, the Border Patrol, the Surveillance and Intelligence Units, as well as the Anti-Robbery Units. As a prelude, I have already directed the immediate disbandment of the multiple and somewhat inefficient crime squads stroke teams across the country.
Hafiz Ringim also noted the need to start building an institutional capacity anchored on collective commitment of all officers and men.
This further brings to the fore the need to start building an institutional capacity anchored on collective commitment of all officers and men. Therefore, this gathering will offer us the desired opportunity to strategize and chart a formidable roadmap for development as well as performance benchmark that will take us to the next level. As senior officers and management team members, it is pertinent to review our supervisory mechanism to ensure that police conduct becomes an embodiment of respect of human dignity, professionalism, as well as in line with provisions of national and international codes of conduct for law enforcement agencies. We are tired of image bettering by members of the public and shall not hesitate to invoke vicarious liability sanctions on officers who fail to fight themselves, as well as the force of incessant cases of police brutality and unethical conduct.
It is noteworthy that a police organization devoid of well-trained personnel will not be able to achieve its desired goal. Consequently, Hafiz Ringim highlighted training and retraining of police personnel as an irreplaceable tool for attaining the desired height in democratic policing, coupled with the forthcoming general elections slated for 2011, which the police is saddled with the responsibility of ensuring the conduct of a free and fair election.
We intend to consolidate on training and retraining of our personnel as the critical panacea to attaining the desired height in democratic policing. This approach is more pertinent, especially at this period when the 2011 election preparations are unfolding. It is the practice all over the world to use police performance as a litmus test for government readiness and ability to provide credible elections. We must therefore brace up and take on this challenge before, during, and after the forthcoming 2011 elections. We cannot afford to fail Nigerians, especially at this time when government is collaborating with public and private sectors in implementing the recommendation of the police reform with appreciable progress.
The Inspector General of Police, Hafiz Ringim, also in his address, reiterated his administration's priority to welfare of officers and men of the force, which unarguably will serve as a motivation and boost the performance of the men.
We shall continue to be accessible and proactive in administrating staff welfare and motivation priority attention. Officers and men should be ready for transfers at short notices while promotion courses will continue to run compulsorily for designated ranks. It is our policy, as well as the governmental policy, to compulsorily retire officers who fail to pass prescribed promotion exams after 2 attempts. This is to ensure that ranks are won suitably by those who really deserve them.
Crime fighters, the police and you, the men are still in action.